This video is about the dreaded double negative. So negative words are words like no, never, couldn't, nothing, no one, nowhere, nobody, not, none, didn't. All those words that have negative meanings. So double negatives using more than one negative in a sentence must never be done. It confuses your message. It isn't clear, and though we're used to sometimes hearing it and we kind of know what it means, it is not appropriate to write it because it isn't a true expression of what you really mean. Let's identify the negatives and see what we can do to fix the problem in these sentences. I didn't never do it. I didn't never do it. Well, here's a negative and here's another one. We have a double negative. If you didn't never do it, that means you did it. What you're trying to say is, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do it, it wasn't me. But if I did not never do it, that means you did do it. That's not what you mean. So we need to change one of the negatives into a positive. So I didn't never do it should become I didn't ever do it, or simply I didn't do it. You can tell which one sounds better just by listening to it. Let's look at this one. You couldn't never help me. What you're trying to say is you're no help to me. You couldn't help me. You don't help me. But if you couldn't never help me, that means you could always help me. I know it's confusing. Just think about what you're really saying here. You could not never help me. That means you always could help me. It's not what we really mean. We can't use these double negatives. So instead, this should be you couldn't help me or you couldn't ever help me, meaning you were not able to give me any help. She couldn't do nothing about it. What we're trying to say is that this person couldn't change what was happening. They couldn't make a change to what was going on. Couldn't is a negative. Nothing is a negative. We've got two in one sentence. So think about what it really means to say you couldn't do nothing. If she couldn't do nothing, that means she could do something. She couldn't do nothing. So what you're saying is she could do something about it. But is that what the person probably means? No. So we're going to turn nothing into anything. That makes it a positive. She couldn't do anything about it. There was nothing she could do about it. Last one. Imagine your mum's shouting this and the house is all messy and your dad comes in and he sees it's all messy and they shout, "No one does nothing around here. Nobody helps out. No one does nothing around here." If no one does nothing, that means that someone does something. Two negatives cancel one another out and they actually make it into a positive. So if you have two negatives, it actually cancels out what you really mean. So no one does nothing. That means everybody's doing something. So we need to change nothing into anything. No one does anything round here. No one does anything round here. So just be aware when you have double negatives in a sentence, especially when you're writing, but also practice when you're speaking, saying your sentences properly, just to get used to it, so especially you can recognize in writing when it's not right. So never put two negatives in the same sentence together because they cancel one another out and they make a positive.